Hello, I'm going to start a series today on the ascendants. And what is the ascendant? Basically, uh, I know when I was like thinking about astrology when I was younger, I used to always think, even up till, I don't know, a few years ago when I started sort of like learning more about astrology, I used to think astrology was just our sun sign. Clearly, there are many more planets than just the sun. And what happens is in Vedic astrology, we use 9 planets. One of them is the sun. The other 8 as well have got a lot to do with who we are and how the pattern of our life is. And also, the ascendant is the most important one because what happens is the moment you are born, a configuration happens. Whatever configuration is up in the skies in the cosmos that time is absorbs your energy. So that is your blueprint, your cosmic blueprint, if you like. And that exact precise time is your ascendant. Now, many people say, like, well, I was born at 8 o'clock. Yeah, mom said I was born like in the morning. I was born 9 o'clock. Well, to actually do astrology properly, you actually need to know a precise time because it's astrology, particularly Vedic astrology, which is so fabulous. It's a lot more than just the 12 zodiac signs and 9 planets. Within those, you also have 27 fixed stars called Nakshatras. And within those 27 nakshatras, you also have 4 padas as well. So it's 108 different things that can happen. Your ascendant could fall in amongst any of those. And also you could have different planets being in there or aspecting that ascendant. So it's a whole, it's a goulash of a lot of things. It's not just one thing. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention because I had my I don't know, my mum wasn't really sure when I was born. She thought it might be something between 8 and 12, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. And, my family generally have got a way of actually rounding things up or down. So I was never really 100% sure when I was born. So I had to pay for my birth time to be corrected or rectified, as we call it. And it is a really lengthy process. Now that I do it, I realise why it was so expensive. But it's really crucial because once you know your ascendant and your ascendant degree, well, a whole load of other things happen that is so interesting about how you deal with things, what karmas, good karmas and bad karmas you have brought into this life. It's just very interesting. Anyway, I love astrology. I particularly love Vedic astrology. And I've decided to use sidereal zodiac because obviously in the West we only just know Western astrology and tropical. I had no idea until 5 years ago when I came across Vedic astrology, and it's changed my life. I absolutely love it. I mean, some of it obviously is a little bit brutal, but life is like that, isn't it? It's a little bit severe, but you can really work with your chart and get the best out of it. I really recommend that. So if you don't know the time of your birth, get your birth time rectified. I do that. And I can do different readings for you. It's just magnificent. Anyway, enough about that. Let's talk about Aries Ascendant. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. When people talk about natural zodiac, they always mean Aries. Starts with Aries, goes through the zodiac: Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. So Pisces being the 12th sign of the zodiac. Aries Ascendant. Aries will be then the baby of the zodiac. So these people have a naivety about them because they are, after all, the babies of the zodiac. They just literally want to experience everything. There's a wonderful thing about Aries is that they are naive, but they're a little bit like determined as well. Obviously Aries is ruled by Mars. Mars rules Aries Ascendant first house and the 8th house. Co-rules the 8th house, which is Scorpio, with Ketu, with the south node of the moon. I'll just expand on this as I go along. This is going to be slightly longer than normal video. Basically, an Aries Ascendant is first sign of the zodiac. It's a fiery sign and it's a movable sign. It just means that these people are always moving, doing something, and they could actually change residence quite often as well. So they're not, because you know people, friends or family who have always lived in the same area or maybe even in the same house. They've never had a desire to move. Consequently, you can say pretty accurately that they have an ascendant which is in a fixed sign, or most of their planets have ended up in fixed signs. Movable ascendants, particularly, they do tend to move around. They want to have experiences. I mean, Aries Ascendant is like a new baby, wants to just try all kinds of new things. It's ruled by Mars, so Mars is planet of will, energy, and initiation. Initiation, because obviously this is a fire sign. They want to start things. They don't necessarily finish things, but they like to start things. So for an Aries Ascendant, this will be a really good thing to bear in mind. Universe always gives to people who see things through. So if you start something, try to finish it. If you start a book, and I'm not saying if it's a rubbish book, go, but don't keep starting lots of things, finish things. The other thing is, obviously Mars is a masculine planet. The sign is also masculine too. So they're a little bit like, even the females are a little bit determined, a little bit like willful. Their second house, I'm just going to return. Mars also co-rules 8th house Scorpio. First house is an angular and a trinal sign. So it means that the first house is always very important. The actual angular houses, 1st, 4th, 7th and 10th, are really the most important things about your life, because 1st house is you, 4th house is your home, 7th house is your partner and other people, and 10th house is your career and your karma action in the world. So these are really important for posts, if you like, of your life. And people who don't have any planets in angular houses, they normally are a little bit lost about what they should be doing. We all know people like that who need more guidance and support than others. But people who have got planets in angular houses, they pretty much, particularly if, like, for example, if somebody's got planet in their 10th house, they know what they want to do with their career. If they got planet in the 4th house, they know all about sort of like their home, their comfort and security is very important to them. So there we are. But also because Mars rules their 8th house, because they do things quickly, they can cause their own accidents. Or they can put themselves into compromising situations, create some scandals. 8th house is scandals. Or they can get inheritance. 8th house is taxes, inheritance, lottery, sex, all of those things are in that house. And it's also a house of the occult, so they could be interested in the occults. They could work in they could sort of be a little bit secretive as well. 8th house rules that too. First house is you, yourself, your personality. That's who you are. Within the sign Aries, there are 3 fixed stars. The first 13, 20 degrees, 0 to 13 degrees, 20 minutes of Aries is ruled by Ashwini, which is a nakshatra or fixed star, which is all about healing, medicine, twins. It's about horse. The symbol is a horse. And it rules things that are fast. So people who have that as their ascendant, they tend to drive fast. They tend to do things fast. And they normally, actually, I'll find if they got a strong planet there, they love it. They like to have, because it's the twins, they like to have somebody who is their partner in crime. So it could be a girlfriend or a boyfriend or cousin or something, but they do everything together. That's what they like to have. They like to have a buddy, if you like. As the next 13, 20 degrees of that sign is Bharani, which is another fixed star. It's all to do with, it's ruled by Venus this time. So it's a little bit more creative. It's literally, it's about kind of like birth and death of things. So these people are very good at sort of finishing things, but they should really finish things. They can be a little bit stubborn. And then you have Kritika, which is like the last kind of like 4 degrees of that could be where they can be a little bit cutting, critical. It's a more critical part of the Aries. They yeah. Anyway, let's move on. So you can see Aries is not just Aries, and we've already, you know, in every sign you have got Nakshatras, you have got padas of them, so there's a lot going on. For an Aries Ascendant, Venus rules their 2nd house and their 7th house. 2nd house is family, resources, self-worth, morals, early family education, what you learn from your family, what the money that you have in your bank. And 7th house is their partner, marriage, other people. So you can see that they Venus and Mars are kind of neutral towards each other. They're not friendly or you know, enemies. So it can be quite a nice, you know, thing as well. So it just means that an Aries Ascendant would like, because Venus is planet of beauty, would like a beautiful partner, and they normally have a beautiful family. So family and relationships are very important to them, because obviously Venus is a harmonious planet and they're trying to get on with their family and other people. And they obviously that part of their life is very important to them. So they can be, particularly if they've got planets in Libra, they can be quite diplomatic when it comes to relationships. And they want to put a lot of energy into their relationships as well, because 7th house is directly opposite your ascendant. Then we have 3rd house and 6th house of their chart is Gemini and Virgo, and it's owned by Mercury. Mercury doesn't get on with Mars. Mars doesn't get on with Mercury. It's a bit of a nightmare. So basically what you could say, what you could read into that is that Aries and Mars is about fast speech. So they can say things without thinking and regret what they said. That is an Aries Ascendant, think later. So they have to be careful with their speech, particularly when it comes to friends, colleagues, because all of those are into their 3rd house. 3rd house is communication by any means, whether it's fax, social media, texting, phone calls, letters. Just be careful with your speech and how you put your words through, because they just want to do everything fast, but obviously it doesn't always work like that. And also, it just means that they also put a lot of energy into their hobbies as well. 3rd house is hobbies, so it also means walking, any sort of sports, well, any activities really rather than sports. So they could walk fast, stuff like that. 6th house, which again ruled by Virgo, ruled by Mercury, it's daily routines and everything. And normally I would probably say, unless if Mars is in a bad condition, they're pretty good at daily routines, getting themselves organised, showered and get ready to go to work, or, you know, dealing with things. They can, however, it's also a house of debts and enemies. They can have, because Virgo is a sign of intelligence, they could have intelligent enemies, or their friends could become their enemies. Got to watch out with that one. And they would do well not to get themselves into debt. 4th house is ruled by the moon, and moon is friendly towards Aries and Mars. Therefore, they can have a nice connection with their mother, and feel secure, quite homely with their mother. Fifth house is ruled by the Sun. So they are intelligent, and they have quite a presence as well. Depending on the condition where the Sun is and everything, you'll see the relationship with their father and their self-confidence, because obviously all of that is to do with the Sun. But they are quite creative, so that's pretty nice. And it's a trinal house. Fourth house was their angular, and this trinal house is a nice house for them. They normally are pretty good at sort of education, and they're quite intelligent souls. Then we've spoken about sixth house, seventh house, Venus owns that, and then eighth house obviously is their own house. They have to be careful not causing their own accident by doing things fast and without thinking. And then we have ninth house. Jupiter owns their ninth house. Jupiter is again friendly towards Mars, so it just means that higher education, higher wisdom, spirituality, and connection with God, and faraway lands, traveling is important to them. They enjoy that, and they do well out of it as well. They can become teachers because of that. 10th house and 11th house are ruled, Capricorn and Aquarius are ruled by Saturn. Saturn is not friendly to Mars, but Mars is neutral towards Mars. And what happens is Mars is actually exalted in Capricorn, so it just means that structure and work and doing their karma and action in the world really is very important. They do well at it, and they're really hard working, because Mars is obviously energy, and when it goes into Capricorn, it just means that energy is very focused, so they're hard workers. Any combination of Mars and Saturn will give somebody who's hard worker and quite focused. 11th house is house of big groups, networks, big companies, networking, accolades and things like that. Generally speaking, this is a difficult house for Aries Ascendant. Is what you call the house that by too much achievement can actually bring their downfall. So I would say they'll do better with small group of friends rather than large networks. And 12th house is ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter is a good planet for them, so they could be educated in foreign lands, be a teacher abroad. Generally, going abroad will actually broaden their minds and make them more spiritual. And just wanted to say, for Aries, you do well to wear red. Colour red is ruled by Mars, and Mars' day is Tuesday. Do all those really difficult jobs on a Tuesday. Anything that you don't fancy doing, put it on a Tuesday and do it to improve your Mars. It's always good to work on Mars because it's your energy. It rules sports as well. Do some sports, clean your house, pay your bills, and if you want to do fasting, do it on a Tuesday. It's a good day for it. It also rules the blood too. And somebody who's got afflicted Mars, you want to look after your circulatory system. That's it from me. I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thank you very much.